All right. Yeah, let's do this. What's happening, everyone? My name is Chris Johnson, and this is the 2-Minute AI Tip. Let's get right into it. So today we're going to be talking about something really fun, pitching the government. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever responded to an RFP, but it's a rather lengthy process that's very copy intensive, and AI might be the best friend you ever had. So this is an RFP we got for the Swami River Water Management District. They're looking for a web application, which is our specialty. Now, it's laid out well for an RFP, but I just kind of want to get a gist, so let's see what I did. So I wanted to keep it really simple. I uploaded the RFP and prompted it with summarize this RFP. Here it gives me a really concise summary, and when looking back at the RFP, this is coming from multiple sections. It gives me the key dates, the evaluation criteria, scope of work, and the actual requirements. So here, section 6 outlines everything you need in the proposal package. So based on that, write me a table of contents, and what it returned I thought was perfect. It's important to note these first 3 sections are not specifically outlined, but I think they fit there. But when responding to an RFP, it is important to keep their sections in mind, and these next couple sections do mirror what they asked for. So from here, I can't just ask it to start writing because it doesn't know enough about us. Here, I grabbed some sections from previous RFPs, uploaded them, and then asked for a summary and returned it in the context of this RFP. And here it pumped out this kind of long-winded explanation, and to tell you the truth, I didn't read it. All I want here is ChatGPT to explain it to itself so it understands. Now that was specific context, but I also wanted it to have high-level context. So now I came over to the custom GPT I made for the SilverLogic and just wanted some more information. If you don't know about GPTs, I have other videos on that. So this GPT knows all about TSL's iterative process, and it also knows all about our pricing model. So I took these 2 paragraphs and dumped them in for just additional context. Now I could have asked for another summary here, but I just asked to tackle the first section, which is the executive summary. Here's the executive summary that I came up with, and I gotta say this is probably the most impressive one of the bunch. It references a lot of language straight from the RFP. Here it mentions reduce manual data entry. Now this is a core business for us, but it was also explicitly outlined in the RFP. This sentence perfectly illustrates our pricing model. I'm probably going to cut this paragraph, but I left it in. I'll probably rework the conclusion as well. Now here's where I started just pasting all these results into a Google Doc, and I realized I needed a cover page. So it generated me a nice generic cover page. Now I am here to give you tips, and I did say I need a cover page for the solicitation. And I could have just said proposal, but proposal has a lot of meanings, and if you are in the RFP world, solicitation is what you call them. Now I chose the word solicitation because I wanted this to be a cover page that looked very familiar to this kind of archaic process of doing business. Here I ask for the company profile section, and I always make sure to tailor the content for Swami. Now again, it got a lot of this right. There's 75 of us. We are a certified B Corp. Here it mentions some of our sustainability initiatives. Fun fact, we donate 1% of all proceeds to reforesting the Amazon. But of course, this is ChatGPT, and I'm probably not going to call it this pivotal project. But hey, we're moving right along. Let's go to project understanding and approach. Here I tell it to emphasize the SilverLogic's feature-based pricing, which is a huge competitive advantage for us. It responded with a beautiful answer, and we move right on to the established business section. Now this section got a fair bit of massaging, so let's see what I did. The first thing I do is ask it to do a web search. And I want to find news articles that show our long history here in South Florida. And this gave me a good answer and did find 2 of our publications. I wanted it to find some information about our hackathon wins, and this is pretty cool. It actually gave me an article that I didn't know existed. And it was a perfect find too, because we're talking about smart cities. And we won this hackathon in 2017. Thanks, ChatGPT. Here I'm asking it to add the hyperlinks right in the text. And after fighting with it about 4 to 6 chats with some formatting, it gave me a good answer. Now we move on to location. You can see I wrote quite a bit about it. So don't worry, you're still very important in this process. And with all this extra context, in just one shot, it came up with a perfect answer. Now we're almost done. We're moving on to work experience. I just pulled 2 sections out of a previous RFP and uploaded them. Again, I gave it just some light guidance. And again, first try, it did great. It pulled out work experience that was explicitly outlined in the RFP. Look at this, geospatial and mapping solution, so perfect. Now I just threw all this in a Google Doc, and I would call this a pretty good start to a proposal. So I knocked this out in about 30 minutes. And honestly, ChatGPT has really opened up a whole new business line for us. because of the long sales cycles with these RFPs, it was kind of not worth it to respond to all of them because of the work that went into it. But since we have put in a lot of work to developing this content on the back end, we're really well positioned to use AI to scale up our efforts in terms of outbound. Now, if you are on the sending or receiving end of any of these proposals, I recommend you shoot me a DM here on LinkedIn and ask me about AI adoption training. Chat with you next time.